So he came to me and was like, yo, I can only cut you a third of the money I'm supposed to give you. I said, you know what, man, I want to do these songs. You know what I'm saying?
See, Craig Mack used to come up in the studio, man, by himself. You know, so or have man that whoever was driving him, whoever he was riding with, he used to come over in the studio by himself.
Girl, did you hear about the drama between Diddy and Craig Mack? The streets are saying Diddy straight up hated on Craig, and we got the tea straight from Diddy's bodyguard, Ken. Can you believe it? Listen, this ain't no regular beef we're talking about. A music mogul who took a rising star under his wing, only to drop him like a hot potato. Why? Because success got to Diddy's head and he couldn't handle Craig shining too bright. You ready for this juicy story?
He also mentioned Shine, Craig Mack, and G-Dub. We already spoke about Shine in the last interview, so we don't have to speak on that. But Craig Mack, what was the reason for the fallout between him and Puffy?
I think it had more to do with his management. See, back in those days, bro, I think a lot of the guys who were managing and having managers, they was using guys that were close to them that really probably didn't know the business that well. See, Mace had a manager named Cuda, and Cuda knew the business, whereas the Mace got a damn good contract on his first contract. And I was hearing that Mace's first contract was better than Big's contract. You understand what I'm saying? So now, Craig Mack manager may have known a little bit more about the business than Puff thought he should have. And Puff told Craig Mack, and I was there when he said, yo, if you don't get rid of your manager, I ain't fucking with you no more.
Girl, let me take you back to the good old days when Craig Mack was shining brighter than a diamond in the rough. This was Diddy's golden boy, you feel me? Craig was the talk of the town and Diddy couldn't stop grinning from ear to ear. So, picture this, Craig drops Lava in Year and boom, it's like he set off a musical explosion. The streets couldn't get enough of that beat, that flow, that swagger. Craig was everywhere, on the radio, in the clubs, in your mama's car. He had the whole world bobbing their heads to his rhythm. And Diddy, he was acting like a proud papa at a kindergarten graduation, showing Craig off like he was the eighth wonder of the world. Look at my boy, he'd say, parading Craig around like a shiny new toy. The bodyguard told me Diddy was all about Craig day and night. It was Craig this, Craig that. You'd think Craig was Diddy's long-lost son or something. But listen, success can be a double-edged sword, and Craig was about to get cut. See, while Craig was basking in all that attention, Diddy started giving him the side eye. The bodyguard spilled some piping hot tea about this. He said Diddy was getting real twitchy about Craig's rising star. Like 1 minute he's all smiles, and the next he's looking at Craig like he stole his last cookie. Oh, poor Craig, though. He was thinking he was set for life, full of platinum records, sold-out shows, money rolling in like the tide. But he didn't see the storm clouds gathering. He was too busy living his best life to notice Diddy's smile getting tighter, his hugs a little less warm.
And Craig Mack wasn't getting rid of his manager. So it was that fallout. I think I seen on one of the video shows, and you see Craig Mack like this while Big and Puff is standing up and they talking, and Puff say, yeah, we're gonna do Craig Mack, you know, yep, take that, yeah, we're gonna do Craig Mack, yep, take that. We're gonna do Craig Mack album in January. And Craig Mack did like this and looked at him like, fuck is you lying for? You understand? That's in one of that videos that circulated on the internet. But he didn't like Craig Mack manager, so he got rid of the guy who actually launched Big's career.
Yeah, I know the interview you're talking about. It was an interview with Puffy, Biggie, and Craig Mack. And they asked Puffy what was the upcoming plans for Bad Boy. And he brings up Craig Mack, and he say Craig Mack is coming out with an album. And Craig Mack, he looks at him with like this confused look on his face. But G-Dub, man, I want to talk about him and Puffy, man. What was the issue between him and Puffy?
Well, I don't know if it was a fallout or anything like that. G-Dub, him and Black Rob, in a sense, never left the streets. You know what I'm saying? And G-Dub Rob brought G-Dub to the label, and he wanted G-Dub to be his artist, but Puff took G-Dub as his own artist, made that money off him, and kicked him to the curb. So I don't think it was much of a fallout. He just couldn't handle. Puff is the type of dude, if he can't handle you, he gonna get rid of you. If he can't do what he want to do with you, you're not gonna be in his camp. That's why he never signed DMX. And he signed the Lox, because the Lox was more comfortable for him. He thought the Lox would be more comfortable with him dealing with them than X. You know what I'm saying? So he signed people that he could deal with, and he worked with the people that he could deal with. If you're gonna be a head case or head problem, 9 times out of 10, he gonna get rid of you.
Something was off, but what? The bodyguard noticed it first. He told me Diddy started making excuses not to be around Craig. I'm busy, he'd say, or I've got another meeting. But the streets were talking, and they were saying Diddy was spending more time with someone else. Next thing you know, Diddy's got a new favorite. Who? Now that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But before I spill that tea, let me tell you something else. The bodyguard overheard Diddy talking on the phone one night. He was saying how Craig was too independent and didn't need him enough. Can you believe that? Diddy was mad because Craig could stand on his own 2 feet. But that was just the beginning. The real drama was about to unfold, and trust me, it's messier than a toddler eating spaghetti. Diddy's true colors were about to show, and baby, they weren't pretty. Craig was about to learn the hard way that in this industry, your biggest fan can become your worst enemy faster than you can say bad boy for life.
To go back to this article by Rolling Stone about Craig Mack, they claimed that Craig Mack, he asked Diddy for money before at an event. And Diddy, he pulled out a wad of money with a smirk on his face and only gave him $100. You heard about that?
I don't know about that, but I could see Puff doing that, fronting like that. I could see that. See, Craig Mack used to come up in the studio, man, by himself. You know, so, or have man that whoever was driving him, whoever he was riding with, he used to come over in the studio by himself. And he would have confrontations with Puff. I mean, they talking. You understand? Puff would talk in front of all of them because he showboat. He know he ain't gonna use Craig no more. But Craig needed the money. He wasn't even using Craig to write. He wasn't even using Craig to write. If Craig needed a little money and everything like that, there was a lot of business going on. He could have either put Craig down on some projects for him to write. He wasn't even using Craig to write because he didn't want to have nothing to do with him because Big didn't like Craig Mack. And
damn, so he just sided with Big and everything.
Yeah, man. He didn't like Craig Mack.
Yeah, they also claim in this article that he filed for bankruptcy to try to leave Bad Boy.
Well, that's some legal jargon. Now, I guess he filed bankruptcy because he couldn't go no place else. You understand? He was trying to show that, you know, he didn't have no money. He didn't have nothing to pay his bills or something. That's some legal jargon that I'm not even familiar with that one, bro. But if he did it, it had to be for a purpose. Yeah, but you know that he was about to go home to death row. You know he was about to go to death row, right?
Yeah. I was about to ask you about that. Looking at this article, they brought that up too. They claimed that Craig Mack, he was about to sign with Death Row to get back at Diddy. They claimed that Suge Knight, he flew him out to LA. He offered him an advance for $200K in a recording budget for $1.2 million.
Well, I don't know how true that is, man, but I know for a fact Eric B was going to be the president and take over. He's going to be in charge of Death Row East. Him and Big D. You understand? Craig Mack was going to be their first artist. You know Eric B and Rakim, right?
Of course.
Yeah, okay, you know that. So Eric B was going to be over Death Row East. Craig Mack was going to be their first artist. And then when Pac got killed, all that shit just went down the drain. Yeah, he was signing with Death Row East, but it was because of Eric B. I know Suge Knight cut the checks and everything like that, but Eric B had already made that, you know, that situation that was going to happen. Because at the time, Puff ain't want no problem with Eric B. Eric B is like Hammer, one of them quiet gangsters that nobody really know about, and you don't really want a problem with them. Yeah. So Puff ain't want no problem with Eric B. So if Craig Mack would have went there, it'd have been all good.
Yeah, and they also claiming that Diddy, he was trying to change Craig Mack lyrics and the way he dressed.
Well, Craig Mack was, like I said, he was his own artist. And that's why Big never recorded around Puff like that. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think you would get too many, like Big did like what, the double CD, Ready to Die. How many times you gonna see footage of him and Puff in the studio while he was recording and everything? Big did this shit on his own. Like when he was doing that Bone Thugs and Harmony, we was all in the studio together. Big was smoking, but Big didn't record that. Big waited about 3 or 4 days after Bone Thugs and Harmony record their stuff and recorded on his own. So none of them like to be in the studio with Puff like that, Craig Mack or Big. So I don't know how they can say that Puff was giving them ideas. You know, I've seen Puff tell people to change certain things, but I guess that's what a producer do. An executive producer.
Hold up. What's that sound? It's the rumble of a seismic shift in Diddy's universe. Just when Craig thought he was sitting pretty, a new king was about to claim the bad boy throne. But who could possibly outshine Craig's star? Enter Christopher Wallace, aka Biggie Smalls, the notorious B.I.P. This big man with an even bigger talent stepped onto the scene, and Diddy's eyes lit up like it was Christmas morning and his birthday all rolled into one. The Bodyguard told me Diddy was acting like a kid who just got a brand new toy, couldn't keep his hands off. Now, get this. The Bodyguard said Diddy was spending more time with Biggie than he did with his own mama. Can you believe that? While Craig was out there thinking he was still the man, Diddy's attention had wandered elsewhere. Poor baby didn't even see it coming. 1 minute he's on top of the world, the next he's yesterday's news. Biggie was blowing up faster than a balloon at a kid's party. His rhymes were hitting harder than a heavyweight champ. And Diddy, he was riding that wave like a pro surfer, catching every bit of that success. The streets were talking, and they were saying Craig was starting to feel left out. He was trying to get Diddy's attention, like a kid waving at his busy parents, but Diddy was too caught up in his new golden child to notice.
Well, I think that I don't know about the 17-year-old, that's one-on-one, or the 16-year-old. You said 17, I think I heard 16, but you normally right. But I don't know about that particular victim, because that's going to be one-on-one, and, you know. But that 10-year-old one, y'all, he done laid out about 2 or 3 people that was involved in that. I think he laid out a Bodyguard. And this is 2003, y'all. 2003, 2000, man, it's getting close to Gene Deal time, y'all. It's getting close to those days, y'all. But I ain't saying it, but it's getting close, y'all. He definitely got to know who this particular Bodyguard is. Now, this young guy, a young man, I guess he's a young man now, but he was a boy then. He said that he flew across town with a talent agent, right? That had a relationship with Diddy to get him in a meeting. To meet with Diddy, a 10-year-old, a talent agent. That person right there, whoever that person is, definitely will be before the grand jury within a week or two. Because they want to know, did this happen? Did you fly across the state and take him and y'all have a meeting with Diddy? A victim like that, y'all, whew, game changer, y'all. And there's too many people that's not connected to Puffy, which I believe if that talent agent did that and brought him and left him in a room alone and all of that, if that all come out to be true, and this kid can show that he been having some type of psychological issues and substance issues now and things like that, y'all got to stop defending Diddy, y'all. Those are the few of y'all that's in the comment section. Why you always talking about Diddy? This channel, I remember y'all used to say all I talked about was Snoop. All I talked about was Suge. All I talked about was Death Row business. Now I'm talking about something different. All you talk about is Diddy. No, I talk about whatever gonna get us some motherfucking views and whatever the hot topic is. Okay, motherfuckers? So before you waste your time typing that, if you don't like it, check the motherfucking off. I don't make you click on Bomb First channel when you see Reggie Wright face. All right, back to reality. So my only point is, y'all, that victim could be damaging. That person that transported him and brought him over there, I hope like hell it ain't KK, but that person gonna be damaging to Diddy. The bodyguards that they're naming now, you notice on both of those complaints, they all said a bodyguard took and locked them in a room, and I even think one of the persons got dismissed from the making of the band show because they didn't want to get down with the bodyguard.
The bodyguard spilled some more tea. He said Craig would show up at the studio all eager and ready to work, but Diddy would be in a closed-door session with Biggie. Craig would call, leave messages, but Diddy was always too busy to call back. The shade of it all. It was like Craig had turned invisible overnight. Meanwhile, Biggie's career was taking off like a rocket. His debut album, Ready to Die, dropped, and it was like someone had lit a fire under the whole hip-hop scene. Craig? He might as well have been on another planet for all the attention he was getting. The bodyguard told me he saw Craig's face when Biggie's album went platinum. It was like watching someone's dreams crumble right before your eyes. Craig was starting to feel the chill, like he'd been left out in the cold with no coat. But let me tell you, this was just the beginning. The real cold shoulder was just around the corner, and it was about to hit Craig harder than a freight train. You'd think Diddy would have some loyalty, right? After all, Craig was the one who put Bad Boy on the map. But in this game, loyalty is about as rare as a unicorn sighting. Craig was about to learn that lesson the hard way, and trust me, it ain't pretty. The music industry can turn on you faster than milk left out in the sun, and Craig was about to get sour real quick.
Sick shit, y'all. Sick shit. Male on male. Okay, said I ain't gonna say that no more. Male on male with a kid, that's a kid, is some sick shit, y'all. I'm sorry, it's sick. And if any of these things are true, I'm just glad there's other people now that's involved in their naming so the grand jury can investigate and talk to these people and bring these people in. Because everybody ain't gonna protect Diddy. And that will be what I see, what I think. I'm just waiting for December, y'all. I may even push it back to before Thanksgiving, y'all. Because it's going to be a lot of people in that New York jail. And there's going to be a lot of people going before the grand jury. As y'all know, y'all see it's still going on. I know a lot of people are like, there's only one victim. I told y'all, that was just to get that predator off the streets so he can stop threatening and doing all of these particular things. I still stand by my bail schedule comments that Puffy or Diddy should only have a bill that one alleged victim has for that accusation. But once you get all the alleged victims, it appears going to be coming forward. I think we're up to what, 23, 25 lawsuits now? Might be even a little more. I don't know. I don't keep up. But all I'm worried about is the kids and the ones that have been showing that they've been seeking psychological help, and the ones that's on tapes that just found out what had happened to them. All the ones that's coming out, even this 17-year-old young man, I wish he would have came forward a little sooner. I understand kids believe that. And I don't understand it. I know a lot of people don't understand why. I'm going to kill your parents. I'm going to kill your parents. I have never been threatened like that, so I don't know. But I have heard that a lot when people say, when you make threats that you're going to do act of violence to their mother or their father, that kids shut down. I can't speak on that to talk negative on that, because that has never happened to me. But that makes me go, when I hear people say that. That's why they didn't come forward. Out of fear that something was going to happen to their parents and stuff. But it's obviously a true thing that goes on to people, because we have heard it a lot of times. So I guess I have to give people that's the reason why they don't come forward a pass, because it's not just one or two people that says that. A lot of the females that over here in Vaughn First been on my case because they felt like I've been coming down hard on victims that don't come forward. I might have to walk that back a little bit, because, yeah, you're right. I've never been victimized like that, so I don't know how that acts, or how the person deals with stuff like that that traumatize them that way. And I may be coming a little bit too hard. But my only point is, I believe at some time, other than when a new law come out that says you can file, you can file back on the cases that they outside the statute, that we thought was outside of the statute of limitation. And now that you have attorneys that putting up 1-800 numbers and all of that, now that you all of a sudden got enough guts to come out and testify or make the claims now, I just find that a little suspicious. But okay, that's Reggie Wright's opinion.
You ever seen someone go from hero to zero? Well, strap in, because Craig's about to take that ride. His second album drops. And crickets. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, baby. The real reason why Diddy suddenly acted like Craig was invisible is going to make your head spin faster than a DJ's turntable. So here's the scene. Craig's all excited, thinking his new album's going to be fire. But the only thing burning was Craig's career. Diddy, nowhere to be seen. No promo, no love, nothing. It's like Craig turned into a ghost overnight. The Bodyguard spilled some piping hot tea about this. He said Diddy straight up told the team to focus on Biggie. Craig? Who? Can you believe the disrespect? Poor Craig's calling Diddy's office like it's a radio show trying to win tickets to his own concert, but suddenly everyone's in a meeting. Yeah, right. More like they're all avoiding him like he's got the plague. The streets are saying Craig was left hanging like last week's laundry. No support, no backing, just cold shoulders all around. And girl, let me tell you about that album. It flopped harder than a fish out of water. We're talking major belly flop, honey. The charts? Craig's album couldn't even see them with the telescope. And where's Diddy during all this? Probably popping champagne with Biggie, celebrating how they're taking over the world.